Hello, everyone. We have a word from our sponsor, so sit tight and we'll get to the cast. This summer has a high record heat. Walking outside has been rough. I personally walk outside and work outside for a living, and it has been rough out there this year. But one of the best ways I keep hydrated is with Liquid IV. You just rip a packet, add it to water, and drink it down. I personally like the watermelon flavor because it is actually really good compared to a lot of other sports drink I had, and it's not too sweet, which is nice. Another thing that's really nice about it is 3 times more electrolytes, which I always seem to be struggling, especially in this heat. So 3 times more is very noticeable on those hot days. So you can get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code NERDBS at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code NERDBS at liquidiv.com. Remember, all lowercase, and thank you for listening. And now let's move to the cast. Welcome back to another episode of Nerd BS. I'm Alan, and we have Kyle and Tomas here with me. We are on the 15th of November, and we are doing another episode. It's a bit late, so how is everybody doing with our extra little break? I mean, the holidays are here, and I think everybody's busy. So anything exciting in the hustle and bustle, you two?
Yeah.
Wow, I got quiet. I know I mixed it up on him. I didn't tell him I wasn't going to do that because I didn't know it wasn't either. Kind of was like, sometimes you let the intrusive thoughts through, and I thought it would be wise to just kind of flow it out. But
I think we were both just waiting to see who would talk first was the problem.
Yeah. Playing a little bit of podcast chicken. Is that what that was?
Yeah. Well, the silence got a little too overbearing for me. That's why I started.
Oh man, I see. I would have edited the silence if nobody, pointed it out. But now I have to leave it in.
No, you have to leave it. Yeah.
And people are gonna try to adjust their phones.
It could be like, wait, what? That was it.
Go ahead, Tomas.
Goodbye. So yeah, I had a pretty good week. Didn't really do much. Oh, well, the editor sent me the amendments back. So now I'm checking over the amendments, and I'll send it back to them, and they'll send me back the essential final draft that I will check off on. So pretty happy. It seems like it's finally going.
Weird question for you, Tomas, since you've been talking about this for a while, and maybe I've asked you this before, but I was watching some TikToks and I saw a writer on there, and he was, going off in his books and whatnot, but he's self-published. Is there a reason why you didn't self-publish? I guess it was my question.
Yeah, so I thought about self-publishing. I actually know a few people who have self-published, but I thought about it, and what it essentially came down to for me with the publisher was that I hoped, and I am hoping, that with the publisher I will have more not advertisement, but more
marketing. I'm assuming is what you're talking about.
Yes, thank you. Jeez, thank you for helping me. I was drowning there. So they were, hopefully with them I will have more marketing, more access to things and things like that. So you know, here's hoping. We'll see if it does disastrously. Then I might be like, yeah, I'm just gonna self-publish.
That's interesting. I have actually been reading a book recently, and my wife also got a book today, and we were killing some time waiting for my son to get out of school, and she like read like 12 chapters, and then I was like thinking about it, and I think I've been reading like a chapter a month. So that's about my reading speed right now. So I'm not a bit slow.
Sir?
I mean, it's an interesting book because I keep, I remember everything. Like I think I need to start over, and then I go back in and I start reading. It's like, oh yeah, I remember all that happened. I think I'm good.
You're really selling it here. Chapter a month.
I'm not a reader. I'm not a reader. I try, but I wish I read more. And I am disappointed in myself that I don't read as much as I should. But I'm trying to push myself into doing it a bit more, especially with Tomas's book coming out, because I really want to check it out myself. So hopefully I can get, actually literate, I guess is the term. I guess I can read. It's just about divvying up the time to read is my big issue.
Yeah.
Well, don't do so many podcasts.
I do podcasts. Also, video games like Baldur's Gate is just drowning my life. I was going to say sucking my life away, but with the Baldur's Gate vibe that's going on, I figure that we probably want to be a super PC. But we'll talk about that second. You want us to? You want to say anything, Kyle, before we move on?
Yeah, sure. I'll answer that same question just in my experience.
Oh, okay.
I'm not writing anything, but as far as like a small business owner, I've thought about just starting my own website and selling through the website, so I don't have to go through eBay or whatnot and get the fees. The only thing is, the back end is so much more work.
Oh, right?
Yeah. And plus, like promoting and just getting eyes on your product, like the fees kind of cover that if you don't have a storefront or an already built up Instagram presence or just social media presence. So paying the fees on Whatnot and eBay and whatever just kind of helps me grow in the meantime, that I don't have to do all that stuff on the back end. And so it sounds similar. It's
definitely a lot the same. You want eyes on your product, and I think with the publisher I can get more eyes on my product than by myself.
And you're not a social media guru or whatever. Like the guy I'm talking about, I grabbed his books today because they were free. I guess this weekend was like a free Amazon Kindle weekend or whatever.
Yeah.
But the reason why his books took off as of late is because he had videos that started blowing up a while ago about something that was completely different. It was like a skit type thing. And so that gained his popularity, and then now the books have skyrocketed in placing on the website. I don't know if he's making a lot of money on it or anything, but I do know that obviously it's doing much better than it did. So that's because of his social media presence.
It makes a big difference.
Yeah, it does.
I've paid Instagram to push ads, and I've noticed it's a big boost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what?
But I had to make my own ads, so.
Oh yeah. Well, you did do a good job though. I've been looking at them on I look at them on Instagram, and they look nice. I wonder, you make those? You're making them?
Yeah, it's all me. It's all me.
That's fantastic.
I use the apps, but it's me taking pictures and editing and all.
That's awesome. I've been seeing the stuff that Tomas's fiance comes out with, and I'm getting jealous that she's able to mess with that kind of stuff, because that's one thing I've always kind of wanted to do is mess with the Photoshop and things like that. But it's a lot of patience and learning. Yeah. I mean, I'm not obviously. I don't. So
there's a cool app called Canva.
That's what she uses.
Yep. I just learned about it, and man, it's a game changer.
Yeah,
for sure. But going back to social media boom, do you guys remember a long time ago when my kid was like 7 or 8, they had a little thing called Five Nights at Freddy's that was blowing up everywhere. Do you guys remember that? Do you guys remember that nonsense?
Many moons ago, I do actually remember that.
Many decades and eons ago.
About a decade, huh? Almost
yeah,
a decade.
It's been my nephew. Since FNAF came out, I feel like it has at least, because my nephew was playing them. I think when he was like maybe 13 or 15, around that age.
2014 was the first one.
Yeah, so almost there. Yeah.
And it was fascinating at the time. I mean, I was actually even falling down the lore loopholes with MatPat. And that was back when MatPat was like first getting really popular with the Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't know if you guys ever got into that stuff. Like, I couldn't do the games, but the lore was always fascinating to me. So I was like consistently looking into it.
No, I couldn't do either, but I watched people play it quite a bit.
Yeah, that was interesting too.
People play it.
Yeah, I think I'm in Kyle's boat. I definitely had seen it and stuff like that. I hadn't tried it myself, so. But
it was so much that like you couldn't ignore it, and
it was everywhere.
It was everywhere.
I was working with a youth group at the time, and so it was like you had to talk about it. You had to dive into it a little bit just to connect with them. But at the same time, it was like, yeah, I get it. Like, you know, I mean, when it came out, there wasn't really lore, but they were pumping out multiple games at like a year.
Well, the creator did put quite a bit of time and effort in putting little secret Easter eggs, and I think that's why it kicked off so much. Is that the story wasn't like so much in your face; it was very much behind the scenes.
Right.
So it's like Dark Souls. You guys talk about Dark Souls a lot. Like a lot of that lore is like all buried within stuff. Like you have to find it. And that's kind of what
and work it out and stuff like that.
And now imagine having to find the lore, but also having to walk through a bunch of jump scares at the same time.
Yeah.
No thanks.
And that's what people were going through.
I mean, there's quite a few in Dark Souls too. There's some cheap scares in the
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, it's been a while, and there's been a movie that's been in production for quite a while when it was blowing up. There was a movie, I don't remember what it actually became into, but it was going to be done by Warner Brothers, I'm pretty sure. I'd have to look into it. But it became a different movie because they lost faith in the franchise. And so it moved on to, obviously, Universal.
2 years.
And so it moved on to Universal. And I wasn't even I forgot it was coming up. And my son, who became a big fan of the franchise, was super pumped for it. And when I found out, we went to Universal Horror Nights, and they had like a whole Bloom House museum thing where they had the Five Nights at Freddy's cast, like the electronics, Muppets. I can't remember. I don't know what you call them. But they had them there so you could take a look at them, because those were all physical puppets, essentially, or animatronics. So they were there. So they looked fantastic. And then that's when I found out that Jim Henson Creature, company was handling the puppeteering. So that got me really pumped for it.
Still crushing it.
Still kicking. Yep. And so I watched it with my son. I really enjoyed it. I actually watched it a second time, and I can get into that in a minute. But I want to hear what you guys thought, because it sounds like you guys aren't nearly as on board as I was. I feel like I knew a little bit more, but Kyle has some history. So why don't we start with Kyle, and let's see what he thought, and then we can move to Tomas, and then I'll say my piece.
Yeah, I thought it was good. Like, as somebody who doesn't know the lore, it's a fun little horror movie. Nothing over the top, but like just enough jump scares, a couple of ones you don't see coming, and like gore and all that. And I thought the characters did look good, like the animatronics. They look pretty darn cool.
Yeah, I was watching them. The eyes, I love the eyes. Like whenever they do that little, when they kind of zoom in, it looks. I love the way they look.
There is.
For sure, they crushed it on that. And the story was okay. Like, for a movie, it's fine. I noticed that, like I said, I don't know the lore, but I noticed there was Easter eggs throughout the movie. Like, and so I think it's just cool that they made a movie for the fans, which seems like that hasn't been happening a lot lately, and there wasn't like a big overall message that we needed to hear about it. It's just a silly, scary movie, and maybe about family, I guess, and forgetting the past. But it wasn't like a big social message throughout it. It's like that's nice, and the movie just looked like it was made for fans. But it looked like all the stuff I'd seen. All the jump scares were the same. I won't give any spoilers, but like, I guess the jump scares weren't the same, but a couple of them were. Like you knew they were coming.
Yeah,
I feel like we could dabble into spoilers. If you guys are okay with it, I'm okay with it. We'll say it right here because
it's been out for a while.
Yeah, it's been out for a bit, so I think if you're gonna see it, you probably would have seen it by now. If you, I don't know,
3 weeks.
Yeah,
that long.
I don't know.
We'll give the warning.
Spoilers. All right, here's your warning. Spoilers.
Yeah,
5, 4, 3, 2. Yeah, well, I don't know.
Skip ahead 10 minutes or so.
10 minutes or so. Okay, all right. Go ahead, Kyle. Keep going.
Okay, so like I remember the one with the wolf. What's his name?
Foxy.
He's not a wolf.
He's a fox.
That one where he's like down the hall and then he runs at whoever.
Yeah.
I forget which character, but like okay, I remember seeing that in the game. That was really cool. And so like that stuff's cool. Matthew Lillard's
he was fantastic.
Was really good in it. I was seeing the memes from him. I didn't realize it was from this movie. So there's already like memes going around.
Oh, yeah.
About the job interview and stuff.
Yeah.
It was great.
I have to say, Mike, I don't know. Your options here are pretty slim.
Yeah, he was like, the pay's not great, but the hours are worse.
The hours are worse, yeah.
It's like, wait a minute. I think I've had that job when I worked at Target. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I'll admit I was doing pricing for my video games while I was watching it, but it kept me captivated enough where I didn't want to leave the room. Like I had to like pause it if I had to leave. So that's a good sign, because usually I'll just do whatever I'm doing if I'm not interested. Yeah. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't know if I'd watch it again like you did, Alan.
Yeah.
I think there was enough closure in the movie, but also open-ended enough that they, you gotta make another one. But enough closure where you're like, okay, good. I'm satisfied. The bad guy got what he got, so on and so forth, and the good guys made it out. So, yeah, that's I don't know if we're doing ratings anymore, but 7 out of 10.
All right. Sounds good. I like that you enjoyed it. All right, Tomas, what did you think?
So I went into it, like we said, a little more blind to it than you guys. I didn't really know exactly what I was getting into. So we're probably gonna have to add animatronics to my do not Disney
I was
list.
actually going to ask you about that. That's what I was going to ask in this episode. I was like, so I know you don't like dolls, but animatronics are kind of like dolls, but they're more...
So my kid's birthday next month is at Chuck E. Cheese, and I'm going to need you to be there.
That was one thing somebody said, is that it's surprising it took this long for us to get like a horror theme for animatronics, because they've been out for a long time and they've always had like a weird, creepy feeling to them.
Yeah, they do. When they look at you, I remember when you made eye contact with Chucky himself. Yeah, and you're like, dude, please look away.
I really can't stand ventriloquist dolls, and now we're gonna have to add animatronics to that, because there were just, like you were saying, like when it would look at you and like that blink, it was just like, oh my word, come on. Like I don't know if it would have been creepier if it didn't blink, but at the same time I'm just kind of like, they don't. it's so weird. And the movement thing, Kyle, actually kind of got me because I was like, I was kind of like, well, how fast are these things? Like
that one is around. That one's fast.
Yeah, like he chunks around and then all of a sudden, boom, and it's just like.
Foxy wasn't he like not in the original?
I don't think.
No, he's in the. He's in the original. He's in the original.
It looks like he's off to the side though. He's got his own little box.
That's it was just That's why I always thought he was like, okay, you got to really keep your eye on that guy.
Yeah, and
he's the tricky one.
I will say, as far as like, predictability to me, which is kind of a big thing in movies, like I did see a lot of what was about to happen.
Yeah.
But I will say one thing that did kind of get me was like I was totally expecting the cop not to be a cop, right? Like I was totally ready for that and everything like that. But I thought the girl worked there or something like that. But when they popped off like he's my dad, I was just like, oh my god, no.
Yeah.
That's not right. How does that equate? Like, why are you even going back to this place?
It is funny when if you start thinking about it. It's like, first of all, you became a cop. Second of all, your beat is in the same restaurant, near the same. Third of all, you're there all the time and nobody's saying anything. That you're just like you're supposed to be You're supposed to be patrolling, and you're hanging out at this old abandoned restaurant instead. Yeah. Nobody questions it, huh?
That part was a little forced. Like I admit that.
But I did actually rather enjoy it when it came on and it was like PG-13. I was like, this thing is gonna scare me.
No,
and then I kept watching. I was like, all right, that's a little creepy. Like, I don't like that.
Yeah, there's some good like creepy stuff in there without like going over the top.
I loved the ball pit scene, like when she's trying to hide in the ball pit and the thing's like looking for her and its eye like zooms in on her and then it fucking blinks.
Those blinks get you. I will admit, one question I had was like, the kids, were they able to get out? Were they just ghosts?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to wonder.
I was confused.
Like, so when he was killed, is it done? Are they free?
No, first of all, because that I think is how the first game ends, is with him getting killed.
The bunny?
Yeah. So if I remember correctly, and I'm not like as a Five Nights scholar, I could get.
Oh well, you claimed to be. You said you were reading.
I watched the lore videos a long time ago. My son has read the graphics novels and I think the books too. He's really into it.
If any of this is wrong, Alan, we are taking away your degree.
Your FNAF degree.
Yeah.
But there is like weird things. Like, first of all, the whole thing is like the kids were put in the bodies. I get that, and they went and checked, and they didn't check the animatronics. It doesn't make any sense. But wouldn't they smell like? I mean, wouldn't they smell like?
Right?
Yeah, I think There's weird things like that. Yeah, because bodies just don't, disappear. They decompose. They take a while.
Yeah.
So, but anyways. There's a lot of holes in the movie. It's gonna be. That's what it is.
I actually didn't think about that one until you said it, Alan. I was like, they melt to high heaven. Like,
yeah. But
it's a horror movie. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so I get that they could get away with them being in the dreams. Five Nights at Freddy Krueger style. Oh, wait a minute. Five Nights at Freddy's, Freddy Krueger. It's all coming. No, I'm just kidding.
There you go.
But you like. That's fine. You could suspend your disbelief like they're in your dreams because you're connected to them somehow. Fine, but then they were just out and about talking to the girl,
not in the machine.
Well, the only one that came out of the machine that was in the ghost was Golden Freddy, and Golden Freddy is supposed to be like the first kill and the most powerful of the Freddys or of them. I guess is what I've understood.
Because there's that
he was in operation.
Scene. There's that one scene where the guy's looking inside the mouth and like a hand comes out of the mouth.
Yeah.
and I was just like, wait, so
okay,
can
it's like a portal.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah, it's weird. I don't know the whole story. I just know that they're supposed to be in there, but they are ghosts. It's a thing. They're possessed, but also the bodies themselves are in the robots.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
Yeah, that was the one thing I was like, all right, what's going on? When they killed the ant in the house.
Which that was a funny one too, because like really, this guy has been legal battles with his aunt, and they find her dead body in his house. Nobody's gonna question it.
Yeah,
it's like,
well.
I did. That's a good point, because I thought about that too. I was like, so the cop's still in the hospital, the one person that can give him an alibi.
Yeah,
yeah,
has an alibi,
and she's still in a coma.
He has a history of violence.
Mm-hmm. It does.
Well, you know what though? Maybe nobody found the body.
Maybe.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that was the other thing too. Like with all the bodies, they have them like piled up, and that brings the question again. What Alan was saying, the smell. Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's true. Like
yeah,
they got them just piled up in this warehouse. It's not like a warehouse blocks odor. Like
yeah, when he's like, hey, I saw your face when you looked into that locker or whatever.
Oh
like,
yeah.
What were you scared of? And it was like, you would smell it because they've been in there for days.
Yeah.
Like, you know what's in there. It's rotting something. But yeah, that's those little things I can.
Yeah, I can get past it with a horror movie. Yeah.
But like, like the big questions are like, wait, the kids can just come out? Why weren't they out the whole time? Like, why were they? Yeah, so that kind of stuff.
Also, do they have to listen to him?
Like, so the idea was, what at least I understood watching it again, or watching it at all, was at the end when she redraws the picture. So basically, somehow he's kind of brainwashed them in a way. It's supposed to be like a like a Stockholm syndrome type thing. Yeah, like, oh, you're my children essentially, and the pictures are like, hey, we this is our happy family, and so when she draws that picture. It shows them like what really happened. So I guess
all right.
Right. Which they did. I think I love the callbacks. They did a lot of callbacks, and they from things that happened earlier in the movie and stuff like that. Like the you got to watch the play. You got to do one thing: watch the place and clean it up every once in a while. So that's two things. And then later on, it happens again, which I thought was unique, was good. And then they talk about the drawing stuff, and then it comes up later. They do a really good job at like calling back. Yeah, Matthew. Yeah.
And he said that to his daughter again. She's like,
that's two things. That's two things. Yeah. Oh, but also, one other thing. Can we just point out how shitty of people all those campers were? Because that was a populated campsite that he drove out of there with. Like, it wasn't like it was just that family. Like, there was a bunch of people.
Well, I don't think anybody realized it. Like. Because I don't think, because it probably was, the kid was young and it's sad, I know, but it can be pretty easy to lure very young children. They're very trusting.
Yeah, so, but when the kid's yelling his name or something, I feel like there should have at least been one person that was like, "Oh, what's going? Oh, there's a car driving away fast. What's that license plate?"
That was just his dream, though, right? Like they never actually showed what happened.
Okay, that's all right. That's fair.
He was an adult.
Oh yeah, maybe he never actually chased after it. Maybe he just like looked over and saw it happening, and then it happened so fast.
That's fair. That's fair.
Which I thought that was like part of is a darker part of the movie, but like very interesting with him trying to deal with that. And then it kind of it's gory movie, it has jump scares, but it's also goofy, like when they get in the Uber.
So
that whole dark like origin, like his past and stuff, and him trying to figure it out, like that all kind of gets cheesy horror movie campy. It gets all goofied out because they do all that stuff, and it is a goofy movie. Sorry, my daughter watches Goofy movie every day. It's a silly game. She does. She loves Goofy movie right now. But it's a silly game that has developed a huge fan base and a really cool lore. So you had to put the silly stuff in there, but it's just like, man, that story of him like losing his brother as a kid and him trying to protect his sister, like that was actually pretty well done. And I don't know if that's part of the games or not. Can you confirm?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think that's a lot of uniqueness. That's just a movie thing. I think I could be mistaken. I know the Michael guy is the security guard, but obviously they've changed a lot because you got to make it a movie. I mean, this is a game about jump scares and watching security cameras. There's you need to make a movie. It was pretty decent. I feel like it did drag on a little bit. I feel like it probably could have been a little shorter. And the pacing was a little off. But
really,
but it felt that way. I mean, it was almost 2 hours long. Yeah, it's almost 2 hours long. So it's pretty long for a horror movie. And there was just there's a lot of space in between, like being in the restaurant and not being in the restaurant.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of that could be trimmed up a little bit more, but at the same time, I mean, it does, like you just said, the story is interesting. So I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought the puppeteering was amazing. I always love Jim Henson. They usually knock it out of the park. So they did again. They looked very close to the game and also pretty scary. I mean, surprisingly, surprisingly pretty scary for what they are. So I would definitely go with a Kyle. And this will probably about a 7. I mean, maybe an 8, but I think a 7's a solid.
I would have given it a 7. It's not a waste of time. You're not going to waste your time watching it, but you're not missing.
It's fun though. That's what I think. I think it's fun. That's the point. It's fun. So
I think it would have been fun to see in theaters too.
It was. It was very enjoyable in theaters, and I got to see my son like almost literally jump up out of his seat and scream "Matt Pat" because he was so excited because he's obsessed with those videos. So that was pretty cool. I was actually surprised to see him too. I didn't know he was going to be in there, and I guess he kept that a secret for a whole year too. He said he didn't even have an NDA. Matt Pat, he was he's the game theories guy. He was the waiter at the restaurant.
Ah, okay.
It says
don't know that. Don't know that lore.
Yeah, well, if you look at Matt Pat, he makes good game like video game theory videos, which are pretty fun. And he also does food theory and some other ones. It
was a little out of place. I was wondering why they had that whole interaction, but now it makes sense. It was a cameo.
Yeah. He said that because he actually put a video out where he explained a lot of it, where he kept it quiet for a year, even though he didn't know if he technically had to, but he did it just because. But also but also he had to, but he also got to spend a lot of time with Scott Cawthorn, who was heavily on set as well. Apparently they did that scene multiple times because it was weirder than it was originally. So because they tried to, because I guess the Scott was trying to make him do it more like the YouTube videos, but it doesn't work in a natural environment. So I think it worked out. But anyways, I enjoyed it. I think I'm glad we all enjoyed it, even though we don't have a lot of history with it. And that goes to show you. And why can't I think of his name right now? The actor. We were just talking. We just said like 4 times.
Matthew Lillard.
Matthew Lillard. So I will leave on. Did you guys see him do the scream wipe before I move on?
I did not.
You guys miss it?
No.
Yeah, so he grabs the knife at the beginning before using it, and he puts his hand on it and he wipes it. That's exactly what he does in Scream. So it was a Scream. It was actually pretty. I saw that and I was like, that is so awesome. Because if you haven't seen Scream, by all means, it's fantastic. But you've been spoiled. You've been spoiled though. But
it's a cult classic.
It's I don't know. I think it's great.
I don't like it.
I love all the Screams. I think they're fun.
Really?
I think they're all very fun. They're fun horror movies. They don't take themselves too seriously, which is what's so interesting about them. They're like on the cusp of parody. They're not there, but they're close, which I think makes them really interesting.
That's true.
But anyways, so we have talked about FNAF. And now we're going to talk about some more video game stuff, as we just had the Golden Joystick Awards. And there's going to be another award show on the 6th as well, which I guess is the Video Game Awards. Why don't you explain what the difference is, Tomas?
What? I just
Nice.
The Golden Stick Award.
You said before the show that
The Golden Joy. No, I watched. I didn't read anything. The Golden Joystick Awards. I think the big difference is they're awarded from the fans choosing.
I don't know if there's a difference. I was just picking on you, Tomas. I think they're just both gaming shows that are giving awards out.
I'm just gonna say with zero factuality here that the difference is that one is by the fans and the other is by the industry. But I have no idea.
Okay. Well, maybe you're right. You may be right. I don't know. I actually don't know without looking it up.
If you had just said that, without the stumbling, I would have bought it.
Yeah,
I am definitely maybe right. So
definitely maybe right. All right. So we have our games here that have won. And as we could see, Baldur's Gate 3, which we talked about, actually won storytelling, visual design, community, which is weird. We still can't figure out how do you judge a community. Also, PC Game of the Year and the top dog of Game of the Year, Ultimate Game of the Year. I think is what they're calling it.
Yeah,
top dog.
Top.
Why is
dog.
it not called that?
It should be.
That would be. Yeah, I know, huh? They need to hire me.
Remember Spike TV? Is that still a thing? I feel like that's a Spike TV.
I think that's gone. Yeah, probably.
I haven't had cable in decades, but that sounds like a Spike TV.
Yeah, that does sound like a Spike TV.
And if you want to count it, I guess the Lorien Studios also won Studio of the Year, which they deserve it. They're one of the few studios that hasn't had massive layoffs yet. I don't know if they're going to, but almost every studio. I don't know about Nintendo. You're right. Maybe independent studio that hasn't. I'm making up things. I don't even know anymore. They've done good. Is what happened.
Yeah,
they done good. Good job, company.
They did do really good. And
Nintendo was in there.
Yeah,
was in the running. Okay.
No, they did do really good, and
yeah, they were. I didn't even look. Yeah, I didn't look down. Nice.
I personally think that they deserved it. I think they did a good job. Larian Studios as a whole, I think they earned every award that they won.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed that they didn't win multiplayer game. I feel like they are a multiplayer game. But
I don't feel like that's good. But I don't think that's that good of a multiplayer game, really. I don't think Mortal Kombat should have won either, but that's just
Mortal
me.
Kombat, that was gonna be my point. That was gonna be my point. I was like, how multiplayer is Mortal Kombat?
But look at the competition, though. Yeah.
Have you played Mortal Kombat?
I have not played Mortal Kombat.
This is a big Mortal Kombat, what do you call
Imagining.
it? Yeah, like a rebranding.
Okay. Have you tried it?
I've not. I've watched it, though.
Reboot? Is that what it is?
Reboot. Thank you.
There we go.
Yeah, so it's obviously Mortal Kombat 1, and so there was a lot writing on it, and I think they had to nail it with the online.
So the issue is, if you actually scroll down and look at the competition for it, Tomas, they don't really have much competition. You have Exoprimal, Diablo 4, which, let's all be fair here, Diablo 4 got a lot of crap because it was doing a lot of bad things. Yeah. Street Fighter 6, Remnant 2. I haven't heard much about Street Fighter 6 as much as I have heard about Mortal Kombat 1, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But still, that would be the one. That would be the one to be competing with it for sure. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. And then I don't even know what. Yeah, we were Expeditions, the Friendship. Okay, I don't know what that is.
But now I want to know.
An indie game. It's probably good. Yeah, it's probably good. It's on this list. So yeah. Okay. Critics' Choice Awards, Alan Wake 2. I am excited. I really want to try Alan Wake 2. Because I keep hearing really, really good things about it as well.
Same. But here, I got a question though about that.
What's up?
A lot of people are saying you need to know what happens at least in the first one, and you need to play Control to really understand. And so, I have no desire to play the first one. I tried it.
Oh no! Yeah,
I'm gonna watch a video. I'll catch it.
Okay. I
don't
know.
You could. It's one of those games that you could watch a video. That there's that much like good cinematography in it that you could watch a video. I'm sure.
I'll get the story from a video. That's fine. But Control, I think, won Game of the Year for a lot of different awards, and so I think I want to play Control before I play Alan Wake 2.
I kind of do too, because it's supposed to be like in the same universe, right? I don't know if it's canonically before it, but
people are saying you gotta at least watch videos on those two. So I'm debating if I watch the videos and go into it, because I really want to play Alan Wake 2. Like,
so
surprisingly,
I do too. And see, so Jedi Survivor, I think they did it right. They had a summary in the game. Like, you could in the title screen, there was like on the bottom there was like, see what happened before, so you can get caught up before you start playing it. So I was hoping Alan Wake would have that as well, because I had a feeling about the same thing. Because it's been a while since I beat Alan Wake, so I don't remember everything. I want to recap.
Nice if they had some form of like, this is what happened last time, because I definitely, I'm positive I wouldn't go back to the first one. So.
What about Control? Would you play Control?
I don't know.
I've heard it's decent. Yeah, I've heard it's a pretty good game.
I haven't looked at that many. I haven't looked at it that much or anything. So, I mean, I don't really know that much about it.
Yeah, I don't know 100% right off the top of my head, so you have to look into it. I thought about playing it because I heard it was attached to Alan Wake, but I still never tried.
That one got a lot of, like, I think it won a couple Game of the Years.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I have it, but I have it new, and I don't want to open it because I either just wait for a sale on the digital. I'm in this weird predicament. It was like, I could sell it and get full value for it because it is brand new, right? But at the same time, and it's the Ultimate Edition, so it has all the DLC. So like, I'm in this weird predicament. I was like, do I just open it and play it? Which the thing is, like, will I put the time in and actually do it? That's the actual predicament, because I still have Spider-Man 2, which was curiously, you guys mentioned earlier, curiously absent. I think it was
nominated. It was nominated for a few things, but I don't believe it won anything,
which is surprising.
I played all the way through Spider-Man 2. 37 hours.
That's kind of what I've heard. I haven't heard anything like I've heard it's good. I've heard Spider-Man 2 is good. It's really good. Fun, but it's just more Spider-Man. They're not doing anything different. That's what I've been hearing. And so that's why people aren't like foaming at the mouth over it. And it's just more of the same.
And the other big difference for me about it compared to like the Arkham series, right, is it builds off of each other, but it doesn't, I don't know, it does, to me, it didn't feel like it was building off of each other. Like, to me, it kind of felt like, oh, this could be its own story, and I could have just played Spider-Man 2 and I'd be fine.
Yeah, so like it's like its own graphic novel.
Yeah, and so I'm just kind of like, that's
kind of what you want, though, right? You don't want it too connected.
I don't know.
Because that's what you have the problem. Like Alan Wake 2 is now you won't play Alan Wake 2 because you don't know what's going on in the beginning too, right?
And you're right on that. But like for Arkhamverse, I really liked how it was always continual.
Yeah, but I think they were still separate enough though, that you could start at any point.
There's no way you needed to play Arkham Asylum.
No, it's true. It's true. Like, it's true.
But yeah, Alan Wake is very. It's like you need to know what's going on.
Well, I guess I don't know. I didn't feel like I said, it only took me 37 hours to really beat it, and I practically almost platinumed it. Like, it just feels like, I don't know. It feels like you could have smashed this onto one and just had one really big game, and it would have been the same. Like,
37 hours.
37 hours is still a pretty big chunk.
That's a full game.
But like, it doesn't feel any different, is what I'm saying. It's the movement's the same. The outfits. Well, no, there are some new outfits, but
So
the combat feels the same, although they added this stupid parry, which makes no sense because Spider-Man doesn't parry. Like,
so they're trying to get a little Souls-like in there.
Well, there are these attacks where like you can't dodge them, you can only parry them, and it's like, well, what the hell is Spidey sense for? I thought that was the whole thing about Spider-Man, is that he gets out of the way. Like, I don't know. I just kind of felt like, and also there's a lot of flying in it or gliding in it, and I was also kind of like, well, Spider-Man, he's not Birdman, he's Spider. Like, I don't know.
Harvey Birdman.
I didn't understand why we were flying, because aren't we supposed to be web slinging? And I also was like, why are we parrying? That
sounds like the Batman progression. Remember when they added the glide?
But it makes sense for Batman to glide. It doesn't make sense for Spider-Man to glide.
Well, Spider-Man's always had gliders. I mean, he's had the gliders. It probably hasn't been depicted as much as like Batman, of course, because Batman is Batman and also has a cape. But Spider-Man has always had webbers. I mean, even in the movie, he uses the webbers. There's been a couple, at least once, where they use the webbers. But I know in the comics, he's always had the webbers. They've glided around the little. I know I keep calling them webbers, but I don't know what they're called. They're like the little gliding wings.
Well, to me, it just, I don't know. But to me, it just felt like you're supposed to web sling. That's what Spider-Man does. It's a web sling.
Well, you can. Yeah. Can you just not glide though? Like, can you refuse?
No, there are some missions where you have to do the gliding.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, I know you're saying that kind of stuff, and my son also was working on platinuming it for a bit, and he gave up. And his main reason is because he became too grindy. It was like, I don't want to keep doing it now. Now I have to go to like every area, which I remember doing in one. The other ones, I don't know. But he said, I don't want to go to every area and be like so many gang members or whatever. I'm done. Yeah. I'm done with the game. I don't want to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, the way I got close was just moving through the story, and by the time I got done with it, I looked through my trophy list, and I only had a few left, but they were all things that would force me to go back and grind through. And I was just like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, that's fair.
I've been there. I've been there in a game. Yeah.
It sounds like the argument that Alan's been trying to make about Tears of the Kingdom, except that Tears of the Kingdom does not feel like Breath of the Wild at all. It really doesn't.
Well, that was another one that was on the list that I don't think won. Did it? Zelda?
Yeah.
Zelda
didn't win
Nintendo.
Anything besides the Nintendo, but that I don't know if that counts. I'm gonna say
I don't feel like that does count. I don't feel like that does count.
Whoa.
Well, because like Xbox, the only time that was
I'm not counting any of them, to be fair. Not just Nintendo. I don't want to count the PC game, the Xbox game, or the PlayStation.
Okay,
I just feel like
that's why I woed. I had to woe you guys.
It's just such a weird argument.
Counted. The only time that Starfall or whatever it was, the big Xbox game,
Starfield. And that one I would argue counts the least because it's the only game on Xbox that is any good this year.
That was
Hi-Fi Rush is good.
I haven't played it. I don't know. Well, I haven't played it really either, but I haven't heard of it.
But my point is, like, I know that Xbox at least thought they were going to ride a lot of this on there, and it only got nominated, from what I can remember, once, and the only time it won was in its nomination, and that was for the best Xbox game.
Starfield, I mean, we haven't talked about it, but it's a bit of a letdown. It's a good game, but it's not living up to the hype that it kind of needed to.
We may need to get Chris on here. I'm sure Chris played it, right? Because he's a big Xbox guy.
Xbox guy. I don't know if that's his bag though. I think.
He's
a computer guy. So like any of anything that came out Modern Warfare or anything that came out like that, you can guarantee that he's played.
But
not Starfield. Okay. All right.
Well, Halo when it came out, and he was like, it's mid. It's not great, but I think that was last year. So.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Fine. We can get rid of that.
I'm curious, Kyle, how is it different? Because I've seen Imogen play both of them, and other than the building thing, it doesn't look any different to me.
Okay,
yeah,
well,
I feel like it's the
added,
same, except for they added things from the Banjo game that they made, but the Jigsaw button. What is it? Bolts and nuts or something like that.
Get out of here.
Butts and nuts? What did you say? Butts and nuts?
Is it bolts and notes? Bolts and nuts. Oh my god, I cannot talk right now.
Which actually, that game is actually fun for the building, but
I've actually heard it's pretty good, but it's just not the Banjo game people wanted.
It's not oh man, that was one of the biggest letdowns of my lifetime.
But anyways, continues Kyle.
They added 2 like whole maps to it, right? So like I don't know if Spider-Man did that or not, but like 2 full maps on top of the one that they already had. So yeah, they used.
I'm being honest, they did.
What can they add? Like you're in New York City. Like, what are they going to add? New Jersey or something? What?
Yeah, but they still cut off half of New York to you. Like you got the 4 boroughs, but then he doesn't extend out of the boroughs. Like
you're talking about Spider-Man.
Yeah, sorry.
He said
it's not big enough, and I said that it's because they can't really add more to New York City. It's New York City. That's it.
It's a whole subway system.
The Zelda, for instance, they can add more because they can make them with their own. But keep going, Kyle. Sorry.
3 words: Spider-Man in space. Okay.
I mean, they could, and I'd be down. I'm in.
Sony, give me a call. Sony, call me up. I got big ideas.
Wait for in space.
Yeah.
Pending.
Exactly. So that's the argument for Tears of the Kingdom, is that they've added 2 full maps, so you now have 3 fully fleshed out maps.
But isn't the gameplay the same? Like I was watching her play, it's like the same thing.
As far as mechanics?
Yeah, it's just whack until it breaks, go pick up another one, and then run out.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the first one was successful, so if it ain't broke, why fix it?
Whack till it breaks. All right, well, let's go. Moss's summary of video games. Let's go through
my life, really.
My summary of Tears of the Kingdom: whack until it breaks, and go pick up another one.
We need to get you to do like a 1-minute reviews or something.
10-second reviews.
All right, keep going, Kyle. You keep getting cut off. What else did you want to talk about for Zelda? Game of the year.
I think recency bias is a thing where Baldur's Gate is newer.
It's true.
Came out more recent. I'm not saying that it didn't deserve to win everything it won, but prior to that game coming out, Tears of the Kingdom was front runner for everything, and so I feel like if it wasn't, the time difference wasn't so spaced out, I feel like Tears of the Kingdom could have won a couple more. So I think that's a thing. I think Baldur's Gate 3 time will tell if it's that great. I think it sounds like it's great. I just haven't played it.
Hype is definitely a thing. There's so it also was nominated for audio. It was nominated for game trailer. Yeah, well, I was saying nominated.
I mean, Cyberpunk though.
Well, I was just going off because what he was saying. So I was curious to see what it was nominated for.
Right.
I mean, but losing to Cyberpunk is not.
But there was no expansion.
Yeah, well, what's wrong with Cyberpunk? What do you mean? It won?
Cyberpunk was.
I played Cyberpunk.
I played Cyberpunk, and it
the expansion. Phantom Liberty?
The expansion yet.
Okay, this is what this is for. This is for Phantom Liberty.
Oh,
specifically for Phantom Liberty, the expansion.
Okay. Well, we're ignoring.
I hear nothing but good things.
Yeah, because even
I have two.
the Cyberpunk 2077 or whatever, even when I played it after some time later and it's been all fixed up, there were still glitches where I'd fall through the map and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
kind of like
really,
you haven't fixed this by now?
I've heard that they fixed a lot more things in the expansion, but I don't know.
I hope so.
This is all hearsay, so I don't know.
Well, the cool thing they've done is there's like a 2.0 what do you call it? Not DLC, just update. There's like a 2.0 update where you could respec your whole character with all your points. If you're like, you know what, let me just dive back into it and let me just start from scratch. But I get all my XP.
That'd be cool.
This is something I've been saying for years. Every game needs to have this. I'm so sick of it. I'm so happy that Baldur's Gate 3, when they gave me those options, I was like, thank you. This is what I want. I don't want to be stuck. I don't want to have to be stuck in an 80-hour game with what I made choices of at the beginning. Because
like 3 months ago, like I didn't know what I was doing.
I don't know what I was doing. Okay? I didn't know that the lighting in this specific area would make my hair turn green. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think that's why Cyberpunk's getting. It's kind of like a comeback story, man. Where like, they're fixing stuff. That it's still some broken stuff, but the DLC's coming out. They're fixing a lot. They're giving you those options, like Alan said, and it's turning into one of the best games, at least in that genre that's ever been made.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
No, I still like 2077. It was just that when I was playing it and there were still bugs, I was just kind of like, seriously?
Yeah, where's that category?
Yeah,
best bugs.
That's one thing
they need to have a. Where is our raspberries for video games? We need a raspberries for video games.
No, I completely agree, because that was one thing while I was listening to it. I was like, no, we need a worst game,
like
glitchiest game, or
the D&D game, right? That came out.
The D&D.
The drift one.
Are you talking about Golem, or are you talking about King Kong? Those two were terrible.
No, King Kong is bad enough that it's good. Golem was terrible. No, the Dungeons and Dragons.
The Alliance, the Neverwinter one.
The Baldur's Gate game. No, Dark Alliance.
Yeah, Dark Alliance. That's what.
Oh my God, that game hurts my soul when I think about it, because
it does.
I really wanted to go back to a podcast. I know. I could probably go back to the podcast and watch me just be furious at myself for being so hyped of this game. I was super hyped.
I was so excited too. I was so excited, and then I got it, and I was like, oh.
I still haven't gone back. I lasted like a day. I'm hoping they worked on it. You did get through it? At least it was beatable. Yeah. That's good. I couldn't take it. It was driving me insane.
Ross, you surprise me every time. Like, I got through that game. Like, what the? I haven't even downloaded Spider-Man yet. So bravo. You don't have. We've talked about this before, and it's.
I don't have kids.
Yeah, you don't have kids.
Yeah,
That's an extra 7 hours a day.
Yeah, that's a lot.
My son took a break from Baldur's Gate to beat Spider-Man, and then he's back on Baldur's Gate. So
back on Baldur's Gate. I could understand that. I could definitely understand that.
Which I give him props for. He really wanted it. He got it. He beat it, and then he was like, "Okay, now I can go back to Baldur's Gate." Once I beat Baldur's Gate, I may go to Spider-Man. I don't know though, man. I'm ready for like 3 or 4 playthroughs of Baldur's Gate at this moment. I'm just so hyped. I'm just having such a great time, and I can't wait to make my next character.
We need to do our thing again.
Yes, I do. I keep meaning to contact you, but I'm like, I feel like I'm so close to the end. I just want to beat it, and that way I don't have to worry about any spoilers anymore. And then you can just talk whatever you want, and we can just do whatever we want and dig through it. It's really good.
How many hours?
Oh my God, it's so much fun.
It's awesome.
I've put 89 hours into it, according to PlayStation. Is what it told me.
I think I have 170 something.
Okay. That's pretty good. Because
you started way before me, though.
I started before you. Yeah.
I think my Tears of the Kingdom, I went to 140, and that was just me. Like, you know what? I got to wrap this up because I have a life.
I mean, that's nothing compared to my Elden Ring. I got 590 hours on Elden Ring.
I'm like so hyped on that game right now. I'm like, I could just play this game forever. I could just delete everything and just play this game over and over.
I guess I got to get on this train.
If you get it, let us know, because I would love to do a 3-way.
Oh, hey! Now you're talking my language.
Anyways, I think that's where we should end it, though. That's a good spot to end it.
Yeah, that's a good.
Right into the
3-way. We are busy. It is the holidays, as most people are, and so we have decided I know we're a little late on this one. And so we've done this cast, and we are planning on recording one more on the 6th, and that'll cover December. And then we're gonna get back at it in January because we are
with a threesome.
With a threesome. Get back at it because we need some time with our families, and then hopefully after the holidays we will more time. So have a great Thanksgiving. This will be up before then, so I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Enjoy your turkey. I'm curious to see join our Discord so we can talk about all the different ways people attempt to burn down their houses. All right.
Oh, yes. Lovely.
All right. Well, we'll see you all next time. I'm out of here.
Night.
Bye.